So what you can see here is our connectivity option, and it's basically the same as we have on the 1200 GS or the 850, 750 GS already. It is slightly redesigned for a better fit to the urban environment and the design of the scooter, but at the same time, at least to me, it makes in this type of bike the most sense, because all those functionalities like listening to music or being available via telephone is something that is especially for commuters very helpful. So imagine yourself going to work, somebody calls you, you want to call somebody. This is something which you do in a kind of commuting use case, maybe not that much when you're riding through the Alps. So therefore we also introduced the connectivity option especially to our scooters. And even if you're not interested in any kind of connectivity, this kind of TFT display, which is an option, there is also a standard instrument cluster available. You might be interested in that option because you see here very clearly all the options of the bike. You can see, of course, a very reduced screen. In the design of that screen, we put very much effort into keeping it as clean and the letters as big as possible so that you can easily see them while riding. And the display in itself is the best in its class in terms of illuminating power. So fortunately, it's not raining like it was in Malaga when we were there with the 850, 750 GS. So we have sunlight tomorrow, and you will see that even under direct sunlight, it remains perfectly readable. If you are in that standard display, you see the speed, of course, and something like a trip computer, and you can toggle through this. Then, of course, you have a smartphone. You will need a smartphone if you are going to ride tomorrow. So I would like to put your attention to our smartphone. You will not need to use it by yourself. It will be stowed away in the kind of case here. But I would just like to give a short introduction of the smartphone app before we continue with the bike. So you can see here basic information about the motorcycle. You see here it's very tinily written that it's disconnected at the moment. That's why I turned it off. And you can see basic information like for instance, information about your motorcycle or when the next service is due. You have the ability to record tours, so if you activate this feature, any of your trips will be automatically recorded, and any photos you make will be part of that route. So I did this kind of route, made some photos there, and they are in my app, and I can use them later on. The most important thing, of course, is the map itself. Maps can be downloaded for free as part of our app. It's sorry. The BMW Motorrad Connected app can also be downloaded for free for iTunes and Android devices. And you can download as many maps as you like, which you do not need to download it, but it makes sense because you are independent of any kind of cell phone signal. So we downloaded all the maps of Italy, about 1 gigabyte. If you use completely Europe, it's about 13 gigabytes. And if you use worldwide, then your smartphone will be too small maybe. What you can see here is also a kind of search bar. So that's the most easy way if you want to do something, a kind of complex search, for instance, like an address. You can easily use this search bar. You can go there and say something like Via Garibaldi. There is always a kind of Garibaldi somewhere. And you start the navigation. You see the route here, and then you can start the navigation, put away the smartphone, and the navigation is running. So that's one way to activate navigation. You won't need it tomorrow. Tomorrow it's much easier for you. Let me please terminate this navigation and give you a short introduction what you are going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow you will find that device in front of you, and in order to operate it, you will need these instruments. We have the menu button here, putting up and down, and we have this wheel that you can turn, and you can tilt it left and right. These are the basic operations, and that also means everything you do is with the hands on the handlebar. You do not need to take your hands off. You can see here a little green arrow that corresponds to this green arrow down here. So from the basic display to the menu below, you get with the menu button, and then you have the choice to go through the different items. You see also green arrows here and down here. So if you tilt the multi-controller to the left or to the right, you go through this menu. And if you are pressing the menu button down, you are inside the telephone functionality. If you are inside any kind of functionality, you will mainly only use the dial here. And we have connected a helmet and a smartphone already, so you can use, for instance, the phone book if you want to find any of our contacts. I mean, these are only fake contacts for demonstration purposes, but you can see here you can kind of quickly find somebody and call him if you like to. Then I just stopped the call because I do not really want to call him. Then you can see here again little green arrows showing to the left. Green arrows left always means you can go left with the multi-controller until you are back up at the phone menu. Then, of course, if you connect the helmet, you can also listen to music. I mean, the telephone functionality is basically the same as in the car, or what you would expect from a hands-free communication system, and music is mainly the same. Our specialty is that first of all, we put some music on. I'm not quite sure if we meet your taste in music, but there is not only AC/DC on it, so there's more. And if you want to listen to music, you will need to connect a helmet. We can help you with that tomorrow. You can use one of our helmets. And the specialty in our TFT connectivity option is that we do not only allow you to play, pause, forward, next title, but also to give you here full access, for instance, to your album list. And so if you don't like AC/DC that much, you can also use Motorhead, which is not that different, to be honest. And so that's for the media functionality. And now the most important part is the navigation. You've seen that you can put in the address or something complex on the smartphone, and we also did this by intention. So because if you want to put in a long street name, you would get mad if you do this with the multi-controller. So you can't do it here, you can do it on the smartphone. But at the same time, here you have the option to reach recent destinations, favorite, and points of interest, like petrol station. So again, the arrow is showing to the right. I tilt it, I use the current location, and then I can, for instance, find a petrol station. But don't worry, the scooters are already filled up, so you don't need to find a petrol station actually. You can go back again, as the arrows indicate. For you, the most important thing will be the favorites. And the favorites are your stops. They are numbered 1 to 4. The 4 is the hotel here. If you want to activate the photo tornante option, just tilt it to the right. Then you see the address. Again to the right, it calculates the route. And this is quite easy. Turn to the left in 40 meters, 20. Then here it is important to look at this number. It's a roundabout, and they have a lot of roundabouts here. It says use the third exit. So roundabout 1, 2, and then out. And the same here with the next roundabout. Number 2 here, so this means first, second out, which is mainly straight. If you want to cancel the navigation and jump to the next destination, you can see the X button here, and that means you go to the left. It allows you to continue guidance if you did it by mistake, or to say en route guidance, then to the right, and then you're out. You then go back left again, and you can use the next option. And as this was a lot of information, and as I'm talking far too fast, we'll be there for you and help you to set it up. But I encourage you just to try it out yourself, because I think that mainly trying out is the most important thing. So thank you very much for your attention.